Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to our World Product Day edition, powered, by Product Fit Community. And we are doing the Nigerian edition, Product Under Pressure. Product Under Pressure. So, my name is Theodora, and I'll be running through this session. I hope to take questions and, of course, have a conversation. But I think we will keep this session in the recording and then have the interaction after. So that's really the juicy part. So welcome and thank you for joining in. It means a lot to me. Okay, so let's be honest. Nobody gave us the ID conditions, but we built anyway. And this is not a disadvantage, it's a superpower. You see issues with the internet getting caught during demo, CRM in a WhatsApp group, and exchange rates, just wipe budgets overnight. So these are actually conditions, ideal conditions that I have personally experienced. You can imagine just having that session and the internet just goes off. I remember the day I called MTN and I wasn't having it. I was not having it at all. So these conditions, even though they were designed to stop us, maybe not knowingly, we haven't stopped. We haven't stopped. Yeah. So imagine running your OCRM in a WhatsApp group. Well, this is Nigeria. We are winging it. However, we know that, okay, the environment will not always be perfect, but we get to find a way to do it in order to actually deliver the solutions that we need to. Okay, so does this sound familiar? Um, my oga said no. Decision blocked by someone you never met. Just, oh, the Oga is there. I think this we call it Oga driven development. Oh, DD, Oga driven development. My Oga said no. You are the PM, designer, tester, and support all in one before 9 a.m. If this sounds familiar, just comment in the chat. Then we get clients who won't pay but keep requesting features. That combo ages anyone fast. Uh, then families still ask, when are you getting a real job? Like, what do you even do? When are you getting a real job? Meanwhile, you are running three products. No marketing budget. So you are the marketing every single day. It's just an app. Why are you charging? Users who want what class for free. Does this sound familiar? Does it sound familiar? I want to see the chat. I want to see, does it sound familiar? This is very familiar for me. It's very familiar for me. Mm. So let me tell you something. I've lived this. I've lived this. Last year, I was really, really sure I was going to launch a product. It was supposed to be my was supposed to happen on my birthday in April. So I started out in January. And of course, I drive a 90-day timeline. That's usually I drive a 90-day timeline and I've seen it work. Most of my projects, I do this 90-day timeline. So we look at everything we can do in 90 days. So this was going to be another type. Okay. So I trusted the developer to bring his team. Um, initially, I thought I noticed some activity on Figma, but before I knew it, I didn't know what was going on. I was now seeing cut and join everywhere. I could not even present what he delivered to my sponsor. When I said no, he actually worked with my code base. See, this is real life. After dragging it, okay, because I have to show something for me to say, oh, release more funds. So when I said no, he actually worked with my code base. I'm not even bringing somebody's gist. This is real life. I had to start all over again. I have the other wife PM who can actually testify to this because we had sessions with him where he was giving updates, but I just knew that I couldn't present it. I couldn't present it. So we had to start all over again in January. Thankfully, we are now in QA, launching June 1. God, I beg. We thank God. We thank God for it. Now, the pressure principle, Nigeria no go kill you. It will only make you stronger than any market in the world. There's uniqueness about us that I don't think we are really harnessing. We 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 we've been so used to using imported solutions, and we have a few, very few locally built solutions, of course, that are now global. Very few. You can count them. You can actually count them. But considering the population that we are not creating enough product to solve our own problems. Okay. I say this as a rule of thumb. If your service is going to just serve a few people, say 20, 50, 100, even 1,000, you really don't need an app. You don't. Okay. If it's going to serve millions of people, then you actually need a platform. You need a platform because it's almost very difficult, especially in our environment, to have physical structures that serve, a number of people like that. Technology is what helps. Now, seeing that, okay, our environment, you expect that, oh, I need to be very clear. I need to have clarity. I need to know exactly what to do before I start. I need to know, okay, or someone needs to tell me before I start. The truth is, clarity is not a prerequisite for action. I see it a lot. I'm working with a few coaches and few individuals. Everybody's just using the word clarity. Every time I hear the word clarity, I'm like, okay, clarity. Yeah, you had clarity yesterday. That's why you decided to do what you did. Okay, how is the clarity today? Oh? So using clarity as an excuse to say, until I have clarity, I will not start my, working as a PM. Until I have clarity, I will not put myself out there. Until I have clarity, I will not build. It will just keep delaying the solution that we can build. So clarity is not a prerequisite for action. It is a result of it. It's a result of it. So what do? You move, you observe, you adjust, you document what you learn. That's the method. You move, you observe. So you give yourself permission to keep improving. One of my mantras is when you know better, do better. When you know better, you do better. But if you refuse to move, if you are in the same place doing the exact same thing, you are not you and you are waiting for clarity. You wake up 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, and so on, and you are still waiting. So clarity is not a prerequisite for action. It is a result of it. Most, yes, where most teams store the three traps, waiting for clarity before moving. You're waiting for the brief, the budget confirmation, the final approval. Pressure no dey pause. Pressure will not wait. Neither should you. Is it that clarity brief is bad? No, brief is very important. In fact, yesterday I was on X Space with one of our developer. We're doing a series that we'll do weekly for the next 10 weeks, and we may extend it, where we actually talked about, the brief before build, the brief. Now, one of the things that we were clear on is the brief is not limited to a document. It's also the conversation. Okay, so if you stay stuck in waiting for a brief, the budget confirmation, the final approval, you realize that time is going. So that is a trap that a lot of teams, fall into. The next trap is mistaking activity for progress. Hell, I am doing full sprint board, busy Slack, WhatsApp chats here and there, zero outcome. We move a lot and advance a little. Output is not delivery. So you need we'll talk about how to get out of these traps. But seeing that, this is a trap, you need to start thinking, okay, what exactly do I get to do differently that doesn't put me in this trap? The third one, the third is building for your best case user. This one, your user has bad data, an old phone, and interrupted attention. Design for who actually shows up, not who you imagined. I know we say this thing, oh, okay, build your user persona, your persona this, your persona that. But when you realize that the people you've just built for, they they cannot install your app because their phone is full. They rather stay on TikTok, watching dancing videos than actually taking action. So design for who actually shows up, not who you imagine. So these are the three traps I see teams fall inside. So I'm presenting a framework here. The three questions before every decision. Use this when pressure is on and the path is not clear, especially when the path is not obvious. First, what's the riskiest assumption we haven't tested? What's the riskiest assumption we haven't tested? So I say this to PMs. If you have a PRD that does not capture the risk, you don't know all the risk I should be looking at, then you've not done your documentation right. You need to know the risk. You need to have a mitigation plan. This is actually project management standard. Okay, it's project management standard. You need to know the risk. You need to have your mitigation plan. So you're asking now, what's the riskiest assumption we haven't tested? This is the thing most likely to waste our time the next 3 months. Yay, we name it first. What exactly can waste our time in the next 3 months? So the second question is, what's the smallest version that gives us real signal? Not the cheapest, the most informative. There's a big difference. What's the smallest version that gives us a real signal, that lets us know we are actually building something of value? What's the smallest version? I've seen teams build a product for 3 years and they still do not have one customer. I've seen it. I've seen teams have products that have lasted years and just see a few customers. For some reason, I think I'm attracted to startups, small businesses, and all of that. I am. I accept. Okay, but it gives me it gives me such burden to say we can do we can do just as well. We can do just as well. We have a problem that we are really not drilling down to. So the third question you ask, who will we disappoint and can we live with that? Who will we disappoint? Every yes is a no to someone else. So you own the trade-off before it owns you. Who will we disappoint and can we live with that? So these three questions are very important before every decision. These three questions. So still it, ensure you take a screenshot. So how we build, test and scale here, the Ninja way, and why it actually works. First, we build, you define the non-negotiable kernel. You know now, kernel usually hard to break. Then, WhatsApp operations is not equal to no process. Document WhatsApp operations equals no process. Document your flows. Then launch before you are embarrassed. Learn fast. Next phase, test. Test on low data, low battery, real users. Test on low data, see. The issue of data, okay, is a real one. It's a real, see, it's a real problem. Low battery, real problem. Test on real users. Then don't test the happy parts. The one that, you think, test the Oga said no parts. The one that Oga said, we don't want this, okay, because it's not global standard, test that part first to just be sure. And then you can go back with real data. Your first 10 users are your real PRD. Your first 10 users are your real PRD. Then scale. Retention first, then come back without being pushed. Rather, they come back without being pushed. Retention first, they come back without being pushed. So when people see that, oh, they get value, you expect them to come back. Then operations must survive at least 2 times. Survive at 2 times before you spend on growth. Operations must survive at 2 times, times 2 before you spend on growth. So when we're learning product management, we go like this. When we're learning product management, we go like this. We do just a minute. Okay, so how we build, test, and scale here. We build, we test, and then we scale. I've gone through the build, define the non-negotiable kernel, the test on low data, low battery real users, then retention first, then you come back, rather they will come back without being pushed. Operations must survive at times 2 before you spend on growth, and then know why it works, not a guess, a repeatable reason. Know why your product works, know why it works. That way, it's easy to communicate with anyone who uses your product. So, resilience in practice. I will have you know that I actually I wrote a book, The Resilient Journey. I've just not published it yet for personal reasons. But when I saw this the topic, like the Niger version of our World Product Day, it just kicked something. So what the resident Nigerian PM does is they document decisions while the light is still on, not after the fact. Before NEPA takes light, document decision while the light is still on. I think personal practice that I use when data used to be a problem for me, data is no longer a problem for me. Maybe electricity safe. But when it was a real problem and electricity was a real problem, what I do is I of course I always make a note of everything I want to do. If I have to do my online research, I have to do everything on anything online, I note it down. So as soon as there is power, or I mean the data is good, I focus on those things first. Yes, when there is NEPA, I focus on those things first. I don't copy this one, Sha. I open multiple tabs. Okay, so of course sometimes you have to just copy and paste, and then when there is no light, when NEPA takes their light, you can just sit down and then do work offline. Okay. Now, another thing that a resilient Nigerian PM does is they manage stakeholders before the drama. Oh, this one. Manage stakeholders before the drama. See, your most important skill as a product manager is communication. Communicate when it works. Communicate when it doesn't work. Communicate when you're clear. Communicate when you're not clear. Okay. And of course, how do you relate with stakeholders? You have to communicate. Okay. So you manage stakeholders before the drama, before they come up to you about, so don't be firefighting, don't be trying to, do fire brigade. Okay. Strategy. You know how we do it, yeah? Now, another thing the resilient Nigerian PM does is you ship, you learn, and you say so out loud. Silence is not professionalism. Transparency is. Silence is not professionalism. Transparency is. I know the feeling of packaging these days. Everybody's, wearing makeup, their finest clothes, hair and nails on point. Yeah. Then we package what we have built and we wait. Okay. But what a resilient Nigerian PM does is you ship, you learn, and you say so out loud. Silence is not professionalism. I think one of the weights that we need to take away from ourselves is, waiting for it to be perfect. You wait for it to be perfect. I also think that developers have this thing where by the time it gets to, actually shipping what they have built, it becomes they're so it becomes something of, oh, maybe people will judge me by that. Yes, whether you ship it or you no ship it, or people are going to judge you. Okay, so we ship, we learn, and we say so out loud. Then the fourth thing I have here is what a resilient Nigerian PM does is they protect their team's focus like a generator. You protect your team's focus like a generator. I think um why it, like I said, well, pressure loves distraction. Good PM shuts that down. So there are two things. There is a part where you want to ensure that your developers are working, they are doing what needs to be done, but you should not be the cause of their pressure. You shouldn't be the cause of their pressure, because once that pressure comes, you see, you will not even have what you are looking for, what you are asking for update for. And I drive this all of the time. Your job, in addition to what you do with the business, what you do with customers, is to remove blockers for developers. Okay, so the day you realize that you are the blocker, you remove yourself. Okay, so yes, you protect your team's focus like a generator. One thing to do today, name the riskiest assumption in your current product work. What is the riskiest assumption in your current product work? Write it and share it with your team. Decide what you will do about it this week, not next quarter, this week. Okay, it's Friday. Let's say decide what to do about it in the next 1 week. Yeah, in the next 1 week. Name the riskiest assumption in your current product work. What is the riskiest assumption in your current product work? And I couldn't help but include this. Something is coming, The Resilient Journey, a book, that just gets you going. Every person, it's a book for every person who kept going when it made no sense. So I look forward to, you know, hearing your feedback when you read it. So thank you so much. I think that this is a good time to interact. I'm going to stop the recording and then interact with those who are here. Thank you.